What is good, everyone? This is your man's the one, and this is um, what is this? Just talking, just sports. Let's talk about it. This is my new spinoff show that is going to be a discussion, debate, opinionated type of show. Should be fun. I'm supposed to have a guest today. I put it out there to get a couple guests this week. Been a good conversation on a couple of my social media pages, and I was trying to get some of those participants in on these conversations. But man, it's great to be back. I took a little break from doing Dukes of football after the football season just to recharge the batteries a little bit. Now it is what is the noise going on outside? What a beautiful Saturday it is here in Indianapolis. We have had some dreaded weather most of the week, but it's Saturday, moving day at the Masters. Oh, what a great day. I'm going to have some fun today, talk a little sports, do a little discussing, little debate here and there, get out and do some yard work and enjoy this beautiful Saturday. As you can see, I am watching Tiger. I do have him up to the side. He is in competition. But this show here is a little different than what you've seen us do from over the past 5 years that we've been knocking out shows here on the BW Sports Network. This show's going to be a little different. It's not going to be a sports specific show, as in basketball or wrestling or football. It's going to be what I feel like is hot, topic in the current state, of a sports world or a particular sports conversation. And I'm gonna invite people, to join in and give their opinion, and hopefully we can have a healthy debate and discussions about it. You know what I mean? So it should be fun. So our first guest on episode number one, a nice shot from the bunker, Mr. Tiger Woods. But anyway, our first guest, you've seen him around the network. Of course, he's got his own show. And what an exciting week that he had last week with it being WrestleMania. I know some of us were kind of entertained a little bit with the NCAA men's and women's championship, but there was something else going on super spectacular, and it was WrestleMania weekend. And who better to talk about WrestleMania weekend than Mr. WrestleMania Indiana himself?
Hello, welcome. Glad to be on Just Sports. Let's talk about it.
What's happening, bro?
Not much. Glad to be part of the first episode. Ready to talk up whatever you got for me. Yes, it was a busy weekend. Uh, I guess with the eclipse happening and all the weird stuff this week, it feels like WrestleMania was literally like 3 years ago now. I mean, I don't know what it is. This felt like the longest week ever. Because me being a teacher, we were virtual on Monday, so I was home and then just got a couple other things done. But yeah, this week it just felt like a long, long week.
Yeah,
So
it
yeah, but
was a very
WrestleMania
long
was
week.
a good one. So did
Yeah,
you catch any of it?
I didn't catch any of it, bro.
Okay, just other than our
Between,
chat.
yeah, but between the championships with
Hmm.
the men and the women,
Yeah,
like, and all the storylines with that, and then you had there was a couple other things that we were doing personally outside
yeah.
that kept me kind of away from it, but I was definitely keeping tabs on it, from my Twitter feeds
Yeah.
and your post and our feed, you know what I mean? So I definitely, and then I'm not gonna lie, my TikTok, I do have wrestling stuff that pops up in my
Well, there you
TikTok, so I kind of know
go.
what was going on.
Well, and Greg has plenty to talk about because he was in Japan.
I saw
And guess
that.
what? Peacock is not available in Japan. So he muted our conversation, he said. And of course, we went live, I think that was Friday. And I had to
Hmm.
hold my phone up to my microphone so he could call in. And my hand was killing me after that. So Yeah, and then he said he went to Thailand and tried to watch it there. And guess what? Apparently, Asia does not have Peacock available. So he literally said he's not paid attention. He's kind of been radio silent. So, I mean, that's got to be tough because, like I said, that's been now it's a week past. So I'm sure he saw
Yeah.
spoilers here and there, but I just sent him a message today, so we'll see if we go live today. It might need to be tomorrow, just because I haven't heard from him today, but we'll hopefully get live to kind of catch up on all the comings and goings, and a couple things happened last night, and yeah, we're just moving. That's the thing, we talked about, Damon. Wrestling does not stop.
No, there is no off season.
Like, we have to stop if we want. Like, if I need a little break, I might take a couple weeks off and from the show, but I'm still watching. But yeah, they're moving ahead to Backlash in France. So the next two or three pay-per-views, like 3 out of the 4 will be international.
That's cool. So that kind of leads into the Olympics, right? Because the Olympics are in Paris.
Now that I think about it, that's probably why they ended up there. I hadn't put 2 and 2 together, but they'll be there May 15th, I think it is. Whatever they're going to go, they do Saturdays, and that'll be live here at 1 p.m. So that would be a good tie-in, since then Paris, France will host the Olympics.
Yeah, because I think right around that time, that's when the torch is on its way into France.
So they might have a nice, and I know through Peacock and USA Network, they've done a little like, oh, you're going to watch the Olympics, just a little spots here and there through commercials. So yeah, that might be cool to see if they have some bridging the gaps there. But and then they'll be live in Canada for Money in the Bank, and then they'll be back here in Cleveland for SummerSlam in August, early August, because then they go to Berlin, Germany at the end of August. So yeah, when they talk about being a global entity, they're really trying to make it as global as they can now. With going live from different countries. And we had the Australia one that started at a nice brisk time of 5 a.m. here. So yeah, that was a good call time to watch here. But yeah, so we got some good stuff happening. But
sounds like awesome. So if you guys are into your wrestling thing, I know I was when I was in my late 20s. We were hitting it pretty hard. I was an NWO DX type of guy. So it was nice to see The Rock come back in a little heel form. I did see what happened to the Uso brother yesterday, but that's a whole other conversation a whole other show.
My mom, she watches some too, Damon. She goes, how many Samoans are there? And I'm like, you remember that big bloodline tree I showed you, Mom? Like, there's Samoans of Samoans. So, we got a little Haku action. The son of Haku, and possibly the son of Umaga coming in soon.
Well, should be interesting.
Little bloodline 2.0. But
I love it. So, so we can transition a little bit and get into some of our topics of discussion for today. I am still hoping that our special guest from the West Coast gets a chance to join in. This is a buddy of ours that we've had for many, many years. He moved out to the West Coast. I know he was trying to make it. I did send him a link, so it should be fun to get somebody from far away. So, and who's up first that we shall discuss? I guess with it being WrestleMania, I don't know how much you got to see of the national championship games, both the men and the women. But I do know that you are a guy who follows numbers.
Yeah.
And what speaks between both of these things of the weekends, besides the fact that South Carolina won it for the women, going undefeated throughout the season. Dawn Staley, cementing herself as one of the best coaches in not just women's basketball, but all of basketball, with a record over the last 3 years of 109-4, maybe something like that. It's just something ridiculous. In the last 2 years, she's lost one game, and it was a Final Four game. So shout outs to South Carolina. Then with the UConn men, losing 3 games their whole season and just completely dominating the whole year and dismantling Purdue. Those were great. That was fine. But the underlying thing was how high the women's game rated in all of sports over the 2 weekends or 3 weekends that the tournament was being held. How much of that did you pay attention to?
I mean I guess we got a local tie-in because we got Caitlyn Clark being the main, ratings boost, and now we see that with the Fever getting 36 out of 40 of their games being nationally televised.
Just out of nowhere.
Nationally, not like I don't even know if the Pacers in their heyday got 30. Games televised. So
we still don't.
No, we still don't. And we still might not, even with Tyrese, escalating.
That's what I'm saying. You still don't. There was one game, maybe two, that I watched of the Pacers this year that were not on Bally's. Yeah. That was just put it out there. But we can talk about that.
But what was it? The Final Four game, I think that got a higher rating than the men's championship of last year. Correct?
Well, it got the highest rating. It was the highest rated basketball broadcast on ESPN. Period.
Yeah, that's a draw. Because you see Caitlyn Clark everywhere, and I guess you don't realize how much people want to tune in until you see those numbers.
Yeah, I think it was the women's was 18.4, and I think the men was 14 point. See, the men still was the highest rated that the men have gotten, since they've been doing that ratings type of thing. But the women crushed it, and they've been doing it all year. It was like, that kind of transitions a little bit into our kind of next, which is the same type of conversation, is her impact on college basketball. I know they want to throw this word out, GOATs and things like that, way too easily. And I'm agreeing with that way too easily. One, to be considered a GOAT, I feel that you need to have some hardware to show for all of the accolades that you have done. In the same way the conversation would be with Larry Bird. You did great things in college, but no championship. So we could say you were great, but we can't call you one of the GOATs of college basketball. And that's how I am. But you have to look at the impact that she and others, but she is the top pitcher, the top face that you see in the growth of women's basketball. Period.
And that's what you wonder next year, who will be the drawing power next year? Because is it Angel Reese is the other big name, but she's heading off to the WNBA.
Yeah, she'll probably be she'll probably be 8 or 9.
And I don't follow women's basketball enough, obviously, to know who's up and coming.
Well, your next face is probably a face that's already there, that was sharing the spotlight, that probably had it a little bit more than Caitlyn, but an ACL injury and a shoulder injury back-to-back seasons, not being in the in play for the championship, would be Paige Buckner from UConn.
Okay.
Because her freshman year, she was player of the year. She did take them to the Final Four in the final game. They just lost to, I think, South Carolina. But she already has that position. She has that national marquee market value. You know what I mean? So there's a couple other. No, she's not. She's already said that she was coming back before. You know what I mean? She still had, because she had a redshirt year, and then she still had the COVID year that she was in there, so she has that year. Okay. But she'd already said that she was staying. But there's a couple other girls, young ladies, who could share that shine as well. Shakara, I think her name is at UCLA. I'm not UCLA. LSU, the other young lady, Richardson, from LSU. That Reese is leaving. She's still there. I know she just signed about 5 or 6 national NIL deals. Puma, and a couple other big ones. One cosmetic company as well, and she signed to The Rock.
There you go.
So she has she's got flow, legitimate. She's got legitimate skills. I'll give her that. So there are faces out there that can give female or women's college basketball that boost that carries on from Sabrina Ionescu couple years ago to Caitlyn this year to whoever comes up next year. You know what I mean? Or the following years who brings that on to the next level of women's basketball.
Do you think it trickles down to more women or more girls wanting to play, maybe at the grade school level and high school level?
It 100% trickles down. And I can tell you from the fact of how much that I spend time in the youth women's game.
Yeah, I figured.
Like from when my daughter started to when she finished, how big the youth was for women's basketball. There were very few places nationally and even especially here in Indiana that specifically cater for the women's game. Okay. You know what I mean? If they had trainers, it was, you just fit in with the boy groups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't a whole lot, but they were there. It just wasn't to the number that it was when she stopped. Yeah. You know what I mean? Oh, my God. Like, now there's clubs that are just for girls.
Okay.
It's not a boys club who just happens to have a girls team. You know what I mean? No, these are clubs that are just specifically designed with the women's game, and they're ran by women, they're coached by women. You know what I mean? So they're getting these images of what they want to be in positions that are teaching them, so they can see it. And then you look on TV and you see these ladies. You know what I mean? So I think it's in a
Iowa. Like it's not UConn, who's a powerhouse. It's not, like you said, South Carolina now. I mean, this is, how often do you think about Iowa in basketball?
Outside of the Big Ten?
Yeah,
you
exactly. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I think that's saying something too for what she's gonna, perform and how Caitlyn. And now, like we said, just this crossover to the WNBA, where ticket sales are through the roof, and all the nationally televised games that we're going to get here in Indy for the Fever. I mean, that's now. I do think the hardware issue, though. Like, just think if she could have won that title, she could have. That would have cemented her.
Oh yeah, you're in a different conversation. I mean, you're now at the table of conversation. Yeah. I still think you have some play to go back because you got ladies like Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird, who both won 3. And then you have Breonna Stewart at UConn, who won 4, who won 3 National Players of the Year. You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot of hardware.
That's a lot.
It's the old Marino, like Dan Marino, you don't hear him. Like, yes, he's great, but he's not.
Dan Marino transitioned the game. He was a part of that ushering in that up-tempo, throw the ball, sling the ball all the way around.
One Super Bowl.
All you need is one.
That could have really changed his career, his
legacy.
Legacy. So
hell yeah.
But still, 100%. But you got to think, you look at Caitlyn Clark and you're just like, she just looks like, she doesn't have any pizzazz. She just hoops. I guess, that's her pizzazz.
Yeah, that brings up a whole nother narrative that I wish there was a couple other people on there to talk about. You know what I mean? I'm tired of this. You know what I mean? Oh, she's good for a white girl. Or she's good for that. If she was European, they probably wouldn't even said that. You know what I mean? Look at you transition to the NBA. You got Luka. You got Joker in Denver. Like, if those were straight dudes from Iowa, like just regular old white dude basketball players from Iowa, oh, my Lord, would the talk be? You know what I mean? But they're European, so nobody really says anything about it. You know what I mean? So I want that narrative to go away. Yeah. If you can hoop, you can hoop. Yeah. But I know where it comes from because I've been at the park. I hooped in the street. I know what the black mentality is when you come onto this basketball court. You see a group of white dudes, and you see this white chick or whatever, and you like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? And then you're humble real quick. I had that mentality until I went to college.
Oh, okay.
When I went to college, that mentality changed. Like every time I stepped on the court, if there's a white dude on the court, I'm like, oh yeah, it's time to eat. But when I went to college, yeah, that changed. Didn't matter. And then I started to respect people as basketball players. And I think that's where the general public is getting away from with this Caitlyn Clark issue or the color skin or whatever. She hoops. She's a hooper, period. And she speaks for it. Now, is she going to have a difficult transition to the WNBA? Maybe not difficult, but she's going to have a transition because it's different. Because these women now you're going to play with women who are providing for families. This is now a job.
And they know what she's all like. You come for the best, as they always say, right?
You know, yeah, and then
you're going to bring your A game.
But you got this big name, so they're waiting on you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. Yeah. How, and then as the Fever as a whole, how do they handle all of that pressure?
It's going to be great. It's going to be great because she's going to have somebody who's been through it with Elena Boston last year. You know what I mean? And this team, this Fever team is built really, really well. You have guards, you have scorers, and you have paint play. Okay. Now you get ready to get a person who can push pace. You know what I mean? Can push pace and stretch the floor. So now you have troubles double Elena down there on the post. Now Barger gets to move around freely. Mitchell gets to move around freely. This team is looking pretty good. I'm telling you, they're not going to be in the lottery pick next year.
That's good.
Nah.
Because that's the thing. I mean, that's how you end up in the lottery pit. You know, you suck for a couple years, which is what the Pacers haven't done.
Yeah, they like to stay at we like to make the playoffs just to make the playoffs. But I think the mentality with the Pacers are changing. It's fun. So I'm excited to see Caitlyn next year or this upcoming season playing in WA. I am going to the draft on Monday. The draft party downtown.
And I bet that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I'm going.
I think they already showed more than 10,000 tickets have been given out.
Oh, yeah.
And you think it's going to be in that outside, it's going to start outside first in that little community plaza. So, yeah, that thing's going to be, that's gonna be crazy.
I'm ready. You know what I mean? I do rock the Pacers. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. I am a Laker fan. All people that know me know that. But this is the one team that I do rock home, the Pacers and the Fever. I do rock home teams. That's it in the Indians. But you know what I'm saying?
We know. Yeah, you're a Steelers guy.
I was a Steelers guy before you stole them, so I couldn't change.
There you go.
You know what I mean? When them Green Mayflower Chucks rolled through, you know what I mean? I was already black and yellow. So we transitioned over from the ladies and Caitlyn Clark, and we'll talk about Zach Edey. You know what I mean? Is he how was his transition? How is he going to be when he moves over to the NBA? Now, dominant in college basketball. The first player to be back-to-back player of the year since Ralph Sampson. I don't know if you remember who Ralph Sampson was with Virginia. Big guy too. Back at Virginia, back in the late 80s. Yep. You know what I mean? Dominant. You know what I mean? I think he was first or second pick in the draft. I can't remember, so don't quote me on that. But exciting. You know what I'm saying? 7-4. Like, I watched Edey draft all the way to now, and people know me. I have talked about this man. You know me, I know he's a young man. I've talked about his game. I don't want to say I talked about him. I've talked about his game. But each year, I can tell you that he has improved his game to where he's become the two-time player of the year. Dominant player, led the country in scoring. You know what I mean? Led the country in double-doubles. You know, most consecutive double-doubles in the tournament. All that type of stuff. You know what I mean? He got no help in the championship game. But I think his game is a college basketball game. I don't think his game translates to the NBA. Now, does that mean Do I think he's not going to be a good NBA player, or I don't think he'll last a couple years in the NBA? No, he's 7'4". At some point in time, he's going to be effective. But the problems, his weaknesses are extreme strengths in the NBA.
Like,
It gets up and down the floor in the NBA.
Yeah.
They get up. Yeah, the athleticism, one. Can he be effective? Yeah. You know what I mean? He was been compared to Yao Ming, but Yao Ming played against Shaq. Oh, I mean, he played at a whole different type of big man. These big men ain't in the paint like that. You know what I mean? You got Joker. He's in the paint, but he stretches the floor. I mean, who is he going to guard?
Yeah.
Who's he going to run up the floor with? Joker, Anthony Davis, Embiid, Giannis, Rudy Gobert.
And even if you look at Embiid, his body doesn't hold up. I mean, he's been injured, before the playoffs last year. Now he was injured this year. Or Anthony Davis, I mean, what's the big knock on him? Injuries.
Yeah, and you gotta be able to stretch the floor. You gotta be able to shoot outside of 12 to 15 feet. Yeah. You gotta be able to guard, pick and roll. You can't rely on zone defense, traditional zone defense in the NBA. Now, do I think he can develop skill to be a good backup type center type piece player for a team? Sure, if he gets to the right place, you know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe a New York or something like that. But I just don't see him being like. Just look at Wembanyama. He's 7'4", but look at the difference of how he plays the game.
He's a freak.
You know what I'm saying? Look at the difference how he plays the game. Let's be honest here. Like, I don't want to knock the young man. I think he's going to get drafted, but I don't think he's a lottery pick. Yeah. But I think he can be maybe a part to somebody's team, but will he be the leader, the focal point? Nah, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Big man, a lot of people are talking him up, right?
But you look at his movement.
Yeah.
He moves different.
Okay.
You know what I mean? His game, his body type, and his movement fits the NBA. He has better lateral position, you know what I mean, or good lateral foot speed. You know what I mean? He gets up and down the floor. That was one of the things that hurt Purdue in that national championship game because he got up and down the floor, and he was beating him up and down the floor. Edey ain't been tired all year, but he was tired that game.
Oh, Edey looked run down.
You know what I mean?
Nobody was beating that UConn team.
Nah, that UConn team was exceptional.
Yeah. Now, of course, Purdue does win. Just think of the narrative for them. You get the Virginia redemption story.
Yes. Yes.
And they got a few players coming back next year, right?
Who?
Purdue.
UConn?
UConn is loaded. UConn's always loaded.
They'll be fine. A couple of their players, Big Boy declared. I think one of the wings, Teagan, I think he declared. But I think Castle said he was coming back. And one other player said they said they were coming back. So
they're not,
with the recruiting class, I think he was top 5 recruiting class. So I think he'll be fine next year.
They're not Indiana State.
Indiana State. I think they just hired their new coach. Old coach moved up. Big boy, was it Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? He's actually hit the portal.
Yeah, they're starting 5.
Yeah, they're all out here. So it's interesting to see how Indiana State transitions to that. I'm still trying to figure out this IU deal. I think Purdue is going to be fine. Edey's gone, but they got a 7-footer that's already there. You got the guy with the dreads, the brace pullback with the extra small shorts. He's there, and you still got your backcourt, Braden Smith and Lauer. Both of those guys need to get stronger, and they need to figure out. I don't want to say you need to get more athletic because you really can't do that, but you need to get a little more athletic. You know what I mean? What put them down in that championship game is you didn't play your game. One, you weren't allowed to because that UConn team was so dominant on defense, but you had guys that were my size and length at 6'5", 6'6", 6'4", with 6'7", 6'8" long wingspans of athletic as hell that are guarding guys who didn't have that same type of athleticism and 3 to 4 inches shorter. So it was difficult. I know I made a comment like, dude, why are you guys pump faking? It's like you don't play against a 7-footer in practice. Now, I know you don't practice like you used to, but you still have to put up layups against Edey at some point in time.
You would think.
You would think, like, they went at Edey like they practiced against the 7-footer. You know what I'm saying? They was going at him like, listen, like them two guys, I think they're good guards. With Lowers out of Westfield, you know what I mean? Or is it Smith? Braden Smith is out of Westfield. Both of them from Indiana, but I think they can shoot the lights out. Both of them can stroke the ball really well. It's just that I think they need to get more physical where they can attack the rim, and not be intimidated by size because these guards is big, what I mean? And in the tournament, it's all guard play. It's all guard play. Like, if you got good guards, you're going to get there. So, Zach Edey, we got him. Let's transition to Calipari.
Who? Arkansas coach?
Yeah, Arkansas coach. He is now, damn, Tiger, where'd you put that? Into the trees, baby. He hit somebody earlier.
I thought I saw that. Yeah, that's not good.
It did, but no, it bounced. It hit the green, and it bounced, and it bounced. And dude just happened to be, like, right there. And did some old extra shit. You know what I mean? Just like, I fall out my chair. Dude, it bounced 4 times. There's no steam on that. But
So
Calipari,
yeah.
He is moving.
Yeah,
moving on to Arkansas. I like to say that too. He's moving down to Arkansas. He's going back down to he's going down to the south. I will say back down to the south because he was at Memphis for a while.
Where'd their coach go to? He went.
Who Arkansas?
USC.
Hell, I don't even know. Coaches move so
USC.
damn much. Yeah.
I'm almost positive.
Coaches be all over the place, man.
Well,
it's hard to
say.
say.
But that's also why the portal and all this, NIL came into play. Because you could be a coach and leave whenever you want, but you can't do that as a player. So,
but a coach is an employee. The player is a student.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
That's how I look at it.
Are they?
I mean, not now.
No,
not now.
No. Now they're
now you're a semi-pro.
Athletic student.
Yeah, now you're a semi-pro athlete, only in football and basketball.
I mean, pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else.
We're not signing an NIL deal for the lacrosse players.
Unless you're the number one goal scorer
Yeah.
in hockey, dude from Boston College who lit up Michigan the other night in the Frozen Four.
In the Frozen Four?
I had to turn the game off. I was shitty. But that's all
people care about college hockey.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do we think in Calipari's legacy?
I think it's good. Now, see, I was not a fan of Calipari because everywhere Calipari go, he had left a trail of
I was gonna say, isn't there like
chaos.
A cloud? There's just a cloud.
Yes, there was. There was a cloud at UMass, back in UMass. Yeah, he had something in UMass with Marcus Camby. So there were some issues there. Yeah, I'm old.
He was a good but I remember him. Like, he was a great college basketball player and then never.
He was cool with the Knicks, man.
Was he?
Camby was cool with the Knicks. It was Allen Houston. Larry Johnson, I think it was. Greg Anthony was the point guard.
Okay, so he was on those cool. 90s, late 90s teams. Okay.
Yeah, he was cool with the Knicks, man.
And then Memphis, we had some stuff at Memphis, right?
Yeah, but you had some issues at Memphis. And that's why he had to,
recruiting, I think.
Yeah, recruiting. It's always recruiting.
I guess that's
always something. Always doing something. But, and that's why he had the clause, that Kentucky had the clause in his contract. But for the last 15 years, we've had no issues out of Calipari. They go to the Final Four, 4 times?
Lost the one that they were undefeated, right?
Yeah, they lost the undefeated one, but he won one in 20. He did get the chip in 2012. Yeah, he's been there 15 years. He was coach of the year 3 times, 96, 2008 and 2015. He went to the Hall of Fame in 2015. He coached the Nets for a spell. He was the coach of the Dominican Republic national team for a spell. He went to 4 Final Fours. He's 9th on the all-time wins list.
Okay.
We don't want to talk about how many countless NBA players.
Yeah, they're from league. 2012 to just a few years ago. It was an NBA factory.
I mean, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like Anthony Davis, John Wall, Devin Booker, Julius Randle.
Even the Pacers, Oscar
Tshiebwe.
He was a Kentucky guy. Yeah, so even right there, he's not even he's a two-way player.
Yeah, and I didn't even went through all of them. I mean, there's a lot.
Oh, I know. Yeah. So,
there's a lot.
I mean, I guess, legacy's legacy. How many titles does he have? Just the
one. He's got the one. The one in 2012. He's got, I think, 855. He's got 855 wins.
So he could end up, top 5 maybe?
I mean, if he keeps coaching, he has an opportunity to move up. I mean, I think as a coaching.
Won? Is that Gino, right?
All time is your girl who just retired, Vanderbilt.
Oh, okay.
From Stanford.
Okay.
Yeah, she just retired. Carol Vanderbilt. She's all time. Gino is next. Yeah. But with her retiring, he's going to win it probably the Maui Classic. Yeah. Because he's only like 6 or 7 games behind her. He's not that far behind.
Yeah. Okay.
So by the Maui Classic or the
I guess we got
Great Alaskan Shootout.
For men's side, right? Coach K? Is it
no. For men's side, it's is it Coach K?
Hunt?
No. Is it Coach K? No, I think he got passed. I thought he got passed.
College basketball coach.
Shit, I don't know.
We need our producer on this. All-time winningest. Oh, yeah. So
I could have just typed it in.
Oh, yeah. Mike Krzyzewski.
Yeah, Coach
1202 career wins. Then you got Boeheim next.
Jimmy Boeheim.
At Summit.
It looked real weird to watch Syracuse.
You got a lot of women up there.
Yeah. I mean, they play a while. Those coaches are there a bit, and those are the years that those teams would dominate the landscape of women's college basketball. But now the parity and the width of college basketball, the reach of college basketball for women is ridiculous. You got teams that you just would never think about as basketball powerhouses. Really, to be true for it, South Carolina was never good in women's basketball. Don Staley went over there from Temple. Okay. She went from Temple, went over there, and she had some years that it was rough. She built that program up, and that's where, it is now as one of the powerhouses. A lot of the schools that were great back then are not anymore, like Louisiana Tech. Yeah. They were a women's powerhouse when I was a kid or a young man. Yep. And I don't even know if they're in a conference. But I think his legacy at Calipari, I think his legacy at Kentucky is cemented with some of the great names and the great coaches that's come through there. A lot of change came through, a lot of recruitment. I think Calipari, outside of his coaching style, I think he's going to go down as one of the best recruiters.
I was going to say, he'll just be known as like an NBA.
The guy can recruit.
Yeah.
So, I think he'll do.
And Arkansas is a pretty good spot. They were.
Hey, it's in the South, bro. Who would want to go play when it's warm all the time in Arkansas? No, I think he'll do good. It's going to be fun because he's still in the SEC. Mm-hmm. So he's still going to play Kentucky at least twice a year. So, in the conference tournament and during the regular season. So we're going to see them cheers and them boos.
He'll get a little booed.
Yeah.
It seemed like people were kind of done with him, though, weren't they?
But, sometimes your time is – because he had a damn near lifetime contract. You know what I mean? But sometimes, the pairing just is not there anymore. And like you said, sometimes, I think Kentucky needs a new voice.
Yeah.
That's fine. You know what I mean? And it's understandable. So, I mean, I
They
don't think they
hired-
parted angrily, but they parted
But they didn't
well.
part it. I don't think they parted well.
I parted well. I mean, he pocketed over $100 million from Kentucky.
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
And they just hired their coach, didn't they? I think I saw, or they were talking.
From BYU. He played at Kentucky.
Yeah, Mark Pope, I think it is.
Yeah.
Because he played a season or two for the Pacers.
Ah.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the Pacers, we shall transition into the Pacers. I got it on here. Yeah, I got it on here. Win. It should be say win, but it's in or play in. You know what I mean? They jacked last night's game off.
They did let it change, yeah. And I guess that's what shows they're still not quite there. Like where they should be. Because if you won last night, you could have been 4-5. But
yeah, you're gonna be hosting the game. You'd be hosting the game.
But now we got to win tomorrow and play the Knicks.
Stay out of the play-in.
I don't know why. I'm kind of okay with playing the Knicks.
No, you play what's name tonight?
Or not? No,
you play the Hawks
tomorrow. But I mean, if you win, I think we would play the Knicks, wouldn't we?
Yeah. I think it's a good matchup. I think it's a matchup that will be very fun to watch. Halliburton and Brunson.
That old school Knicks and Pacers.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, since we haven't had that, in a while.
Yeah, you haven't had it because both of the teams have been not good at the same time. But you got that Jalen Brunson, Halliburton matchup was going to be fun to watch. I think the Pacers have done a tremendous job of dealing with the Matherin injury.
Yeah.
I think they've done
well with that. That was a bigger loss than we realized.
Yeah, especially on the defensive end because he made it a key to play better defense. And he was an offensive engine coming off the bench. Yeah. But I think
TJ stepped up in that place for at least some scoring.
Yeah, TJ's helped it. He said that he said he picked up his scoring when he thought that he needed to pick up the score when they traded away Buddy, which I liked that they traded away Buddy. I was good with that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I was good with what they got for it, but I understood it.
Yeah,
I understood it. Getting rid of him and bringing in Shooter McDermott. I understand it. McDermott can help you out from the outside, and he's an expendable asset. Yeah. That's not going to cost you a whole bunch. So I was cool with that, and Buddy was struggling. You know what I mean? He was struggling. I mean, you're on the team because you can shoot the ball, not for your defense. And you ain't shooting the ball, and you can't play defense, so you're no good to us.
And you end up with Siakam.
Yep.
So give us, give a full off season, working with Halliburton and see where it goes. But at least this playoff experience should be good.
His playoff experience is going to be great. You know what I mean? I feel they have an outside chance to beat the Knicks if that's their matchup. I do. I think they pair well. I mean, we exploit some of the weaknesses that they do have. But this Jalen Brunson has a different mentality, and I think he's going to be very difficult for the Pacers to handle on a defensive standpoint because we are very selective in our defensive play.
Yeah. But I guess because it feels like they can lock down when they need, like, sometimes when push comes to shove.
Yeah, but I want to know which Pacer team is going to show up. The Pacer team that put themselves in the in-season tournament championship, or the Pacers that could had a chance to put themselves in a home field advantage and get. I mean, that game, we watched that game last night. That game, the score was not.
The score doesn't show,
Not to show us how bad that game played. Best play of the game was Miles Turner by far.
Because I think I saw it at one point, it was like 18-5 or something like that.
Yeah,
or 18-8, and I was like, ugh.
I started posting last night's dinner. I stopped paying attention to it.
Is anybody stopping the Celtics? Is anybody stopping the Celtics?
I don't even have the Celtics winning it.
Who do you got?
I don't. I think I don't know who I can call it to win it. I'll probably once Sunday, all the games are played Sunday. I can probably narrow that down, but I don't have the Celtics win it because I don't think they have the killer mentality that you need to have to dominate. You just watch them over the season. At games that you think that they should just show their dominance, they show their lack of.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And in the playoffs, both Tatum and Jaylen Brown have been known to disappear at times. You know what I mean? And I know the addition of Jrue Holiday being a champion, being a different mentality, style guard who's been through it, I think he could be the edge that can give them that what they need. But if you're leaning on Porzingis in the playoffs when it gets physical, bro, I am not on your team.
Oh, yeah. Was Holiday on the Bucks last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he just signed an extension.
He was on
when they won the championship. Yeah, but he just signed an extension with them, I think, Wednesday for like $135 million.
They'll be there next, yeah.
So he'll be there for a minute. So that's a nice little quarter they got with Brown, Tatum, and Holiday.
I mean, there's some pressure on the Bucks to win too, though, right? With adding,
I don't have them winning it either because Doc Rivers is their coach.
Yeah, and that's not.
It is amazing how they just somehow still happen to be in the second seed because when you fired the guy, they had less than 15 losses. When you hired the guy, you had more losses than wins. So I'm not really sure how Doc stabbed Griffin in the back, but I'm sure he did. But that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not a Doc fan, never have been, even when his little narrow ass was in Atlanta playing for the Hawks. Wasn't a fan. You was holding Dominique down. You was the reason why Dominique couldn't excel because of you.
Then you look at the West and you got the Thunder and Timberwolves, who I still struggle to name 5 players from sometimes. You think either one of them could do it?
Yeah, I think Oklahoma City has a chance because of how they play, but I think their youth and lack of playoff experience and lack of veterans with playoff experience and a lack of coach with playoff experience is going to come into play at some point in time. Minnesota is a tricky one. I would like to say they can. I'm a fan of Ant-Man. I think he is a tremendous player, but they got 2 guys that I cannot stand, and I don't want them to do shit. Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy gave everybody in America COVID Colbert.
You're not a fan of Anthony Towns, okay?
Oh, no, I am not a fan of Karl-Anthony Towns. I hate that his family went through what they went through COVID. That was terrible for any one family to go through, but you suck. To me,
he just came back last
night. My opinion. Yeah, he came back last night. I think he had a double-double. But I still do not know.
Then we got the Nuggets. Well, I guess they're all 3 tied.
Yeah, they all tied at the first because Denver lost to Wembanyama last night, the San Antonio Wembanyamas.
Yeah. You got the Clippers, Mavericks, Pelicans. Man.
Yeah. I think it's going to be somebody you don't expect.
The Kings.
That's going to win it this year. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be because, the year Golden State won it, this last one, you didn't expect them to win it.
Yeah. They've come off a couple down years. Well, not down.
Yeah.
Down for their state,
They were still putting up good numbers. Clay had been injured for a couple years, you know what I mean?
That's the play-in of, you got the Suns, Lakers, Kings, and Warriors. Some people might be looking forward to the play-in game more than the playoffs, right? With that, cool.
It's going to be an interesting thing. So, I don't know, man. I can't even call it. Because
there's no team that looks like the front runner.
Right. On paper is Boston.
Yeah, on paper.
On paper is Boston, but
like you said, they even have, but But everybody has some weakness, obviously.
Not Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denver has the least of the weaknesses. Jamal Murray's healthy, Denver wins.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray's not healthy, Denver doesn't win. I think that's what it comes down to. If Jamal Murray is healthy, Denver wins. Because Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon are playing the best basketball of their career. So Denver, I guess you'd have to say Denver would probably be my leaner. But I have to see how the matchups fall out. But I'm definitely not calling the Lakers.
So yeah. So hopefully our Pacers ball win tomorrow. Though.
Yes, they have to, or we'll be watching them in the play-in.
Yeah, I don't.
And I don't like their chances in the play-in.
I was gonna say, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I want to mess with that.
No, I think you need to go ahead and handle business. Learn how to be winners.
Yeah. How about MVP?
All right.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say MVP talk. You want to wait on that?
MVP talk, and that's clearly Joker.
Is it Joker?
Yeah.
I just wonder if they don't. Well, I guess they'll win a second one. So then because they always bring up like they get tired. Oh, it's third.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, don't they get tired of giving the same guy it?
They do. At some point, they will.
Yeah.
Because really, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie. I am not the biggest LeBron James fan in the world. Please believe me, I'm not. I respect the game, but I'm not. I don't run around LBJ. But to be honest, real talk, that man should win MVP every year. I'm sorry. He should win MVP every single year.
Because if you're saying most valuable player,
you take him off the Lakers, and even with Anthony Davis, they are not a playoff team. Period.
That's like the Pacers without Halliburton. I mean, look how bad we looked.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But the key is he is 40. I don't know if you watched the game last night.
No.
This guy made plays last night. It was ridiculous. Plays that 40-year-olds don't make. You know what I mean? What was it? 30, what would he have? 25, 14 or something? It was ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, you got to respect the game. Every time he scores, he sets a new record.
That's what's crazy. Yeah.
Every time he shoots the ball and it goes through the hoop, it is a new record.
That's the life.
That is the life. I mean, he should stop the game every time he scores. Like, we got to hit him.
New record, new flag, new banner.
All right, so let's transition out of here for our last subject of today for episode 1 on Just Talking. And I completely forgot to mention some of the people who sponsor our lovely broadcast, like Elite Performance, our good guy Zach down there at Elite Performance. You trying to get your lift on, trying to get your thing pumped up, go holler at Zach. And I forgot to talk about the One's Kitchen for all of your catering needs and private chefdom and all that type of stuff.
I heard that guy's pretty good cook.
I heard he was he got a little skill here and there. And then, you got the Inner Beast, sportswear, who is doing big things. You know what I mean? Keep your ear to the ground. The Inner Beast sportswear is coming out. Is doing, man, Dan's got some things popping. We got some things popping over there.
About to start looking good now.
Yep. And then don't forget to check out, what is it, May, blah, 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 blah. You got the Southern Indiana Combat Sports pay-per-view Fight 5. ICP, we bring the mayhem, the pain, whatever Dan's little catchphrase is. I had it all memorized and I lost it. But check those out, man. Those are good things we got going on.
On the card there, I think he got injured, didn't he? Our fighter, the bare knuckle fighter we got.
Oh yeah, but that was bare knuckles. This is actually MMA. So this,
MMA.
This will be a little different. They'll be in the octagon. It's fun, man. I don't know if you get a chance to get down there on this one. I went to one.
Yeah.
I went to the one where we watched the first fight, and the guy had a cardiac arrest because of a punch. Same thing that happened in to the Bills player.
Oh,
same situation.
Okay. Yeah.
So we didn't get to watch all the fights, but it was a great venue down there in Evansville.
Yeah.
They have it's a great setup, man. Dan and the ICP group down there, they're building it up pretty good. There's some really good fights, some good local guys. Our UFC fighter buddy Nathan Manis, who's got a fight coming up here pretty soon. He promotes a lot of that stuff down there, so he's down there a lot. So it's big fun. If you ever get a chance to get down to Evansville to see some good fights when we put them on, it's awesome. I'm not going to get to make it to this one, but, hey, I've been down there. It's a great time. So, but our last conversation of the day, we got to talk about the juice. Got to talk about the juice. Now, I'm only here to talk about I'm only here to talk about
the movies,
the athlete, and the actor. I mean, I'm not talking about his best role, the best acting role he played. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what everybody loved. You know what I mean? Like the Naked Gun movies. Yeah. Oh, my God. What great movies. If you grew up, if you was a young adult in the 80s, well, not the 80s, the late 80s, early 90s. Oh, my Lord. Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen. With these movies were outrageous. They would just fuck OJ
that was like
up
Spook City because like there was Hot Shots, Part 2, and Hot Shots the first one.
Yeah,
what was it? There was a few Leslie Spy Hard or something like that.
There was a couple.
He was a big, yeah. Now the one I will push back on. I mean, we won't talk about it, but you have to talk about everything with them, right? Just like Aaron Hernandez, just like Ray Rice. I mean,
not necessarily. I mean, yeah. I mean, you could mention it. You know what I mean? But
Chris Benoit.
Like I don't want to talk about the negative of Chris because I was a crossface crippler fan. I want to remember the good times. I want to remember the good times. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be Caitlyn Jenner throwing shade on Twitter when you're mad because this man was more man than you. Facts. He's just mad that he can knock up Jenner.
So O.J. Simpson was he in jail still?
When
he died, or he was already out?
No, he been out of jail. He been out for a minute. I'm not gonna lie. I followed him on Twitter. He was hilarious.
Oh yeah,
man.
He's been. That's right. Okay,
he's been out for a minute. But yeah, he went to he was acquitted. I mean, if you look at the case, bro, I mean, yeah, you have your beliefs that he did it. But if you look at the case, the one thing that really was the sock. It wasn't really the glove. The glove was the issue that just was the straw. If you want to look at it, it was the sock. Because the chemicals found in the blood on the sock can only be found in the test tube when it's being analyzed. That chemical doesn't produce in the human body. So how would that chemical in the blood be on the sock if you didn't tamper with the evidence? That's what got him off. It wasn't the glove. So, I mean, did he know? Did he have a part in trying to cover it up? Probably. Civil case probably proved that. But, you know what I mean? But we do know that he went to jail for thinking he was a movie, and you go walk into a hotel room with a baseball bat and some thugs.
Get your stuff back. I guess you also have to look too, though. He did give us. I know you don't like the first bit of reality TV. I mean,
well, did he? Are you because you talk about the Broncos?
Yeah.
No, I mean, but when did The Real World and them drop?
I think that was late. Well, I guess that could have been right around.
Because The Real World and The Road Rules is what started reality TV.
I'll give Real World. Yeah, you're right. But I also think,
unfortunately, I know that.
Well, but when that chase happened, that was the first time I think I can remember really watching TV like glued to the TV.
But see, 94, right? Was that 94?
Yeah, 94. Yeah.
94, I was a freshman in college.
Okay.
So, yeah. I don't know.
Like, you couldn't have turned away and then the court case, of course. I mean, Saturday Night Live can think that court case for a whole year of episodes.
Oh, man, that was so.
Mike Myers was, Judge Ito. They were doing Marsha Clark. I mean, we knew all those names.
Knew all those names. You know, I mean, from that trial, we got the Kardashian clan.
I was gonna say, how many court cases can we name? Anybody, any names?
Rodney King.
Rodney King. There you go.
You asked.
Yeah. No, there you go. Judge Walker.
All right, but anyway, the good things about OJ, I mean, some of these stuff I kind of knew about because I somewhat old enough to remember OJ as a football player, but I really remember him more, as the actor type deal. Same thing with Jim Brown. Never watched him in football, but I remember him as the actor. But OJ, 1969 Heisman Trophy winner at USC. 11 seasons in the NFL, 2 with the Bills, 5 straight Pro Bowls, 4 of which were all pro. He led the league in rushing 4 times, was the first running back to have 2,000 yards in the season, but did it in a 14-game season.
Who was his other teams?
That's the trivia question. What was the other team that O.J. Simpson played for and retired from when he retired from the league? I'll give you 3 guesses. Give you 3 guesses. Why? Or you can think about it while I read this last cool thing.
Okay.
Let's see. Right. We know him as an actor, couple movies and things like that, and he still holds the record for the single season yard per game average of 143 point yards a game.
That might not get touched with the way the NFL is now.
Especially not with no running back.
Yeah, with no running game.
I can tell you it was an NFC team out west.
Cardinals.
Back then, they would have been in the AFC. Trick question.
Not nine. I feel like you'd know if he was on the Niners. Rams. I don't know.
And they would have been.
They would have been they're St. Louis. My football knowledge is not as high as my basketball and wrestling.
And you're getting ready to be angry because you said it. It was the Niners.
Was it the? Oh wow. They got there before they got good.
Niners. So yeah.
I mean, so he played So he did 9 seasons on the Niners. Because he said 11 years.
Yeah, but he had 9 with the Bills.
Oh, 9 with the Bills, 2 with the. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you said 2 seasons with the Bills. I was like, wait a minute.
No.
I'm not the best.
No, he had 9.
Okay,
9 seasons with the Bills, 2 with the Niners, and he retired with the Niners. O.J. Simpson. So,
Hall of Fame? Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
He's in multiple Hall of Fames.
Oh,
he's in multiple Hall of Fames. Because, with basketball, you just have the Basketball Hall of Fame where it goes for the NBA and college. But with the NFL, they have, the college football, and you have the NFL Hall of Fame. So he's
sometimes
in college.
And even nowadays, some people do high school, right?
But high schools have always had Ring of Honors, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So you got so I think he's in USC's Hall of Fame, or I don't know if they have a Hall of Fame, but I think he's in USC's Ring of Honor. Yeah. I know he's in the California High School Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
College football and NFL, and I'm pretty sure they can pull some of weird stuff that we not know that happens. So the juice. So he passed away this past week at 76 years old. I think he had of cancer, and he was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. So rest in however you want to rest, Mr. Orfeo. Something, OJ, the Juice.
Orville
Simpson.
James, I think it is.
For probably, I just don't
Probably.
dislike Tiger's
I
name
assume-
is Eldridge.
Ouch. That's a name.
I'd go by Tiger too.
Oh man. Did OJ's kids ever play football?
I don't know. If they did, I don't remember. They must not have been that very good. So
Or no Bronny
I mean,
James?
that's a whole nother
We didn't
conversation.
even get it. We didn't. That's next week's, isn't it?
That is
never got
a
it.
whole nother conversation. Oh my Lord, man. Yeah.
I can't wait to see where he ends up.
Yeah. I hope it's another college. Me personally,
I understand.
All right, there you have it. I am getting the weird looks from the people around me. It is time to go do some yard work. It is damn near 70 degrees here in Indianapolis, and I am ready to go to. Oh man, this is good yard work. I get to clean off my grill. You know, you got to replace all the aluminum foil, get it all ready for the upcoming barbecue season. We got to get
You
things.
grilling this weekend?
I am going to. I butterflied some drumsticks
Okay.
that are now in the fridge with some various seasonings and things. I'm going to grill those, and I'm going to do some vegetable skewers. I'm going to do those for today for UFC 300 in Vegas. I'm going to check that out. And tomorrow I'm gonna do some ribs. I'm gonna smoke some ribs. I'm thinking about doing a crab mac and cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do know the BW Sports people who are in the Indiana or surrounding Indiana areas. I am going to have you guys over one Saturday this summer to enjoy good food and some BW Sports talk, catch up, and see how all of us are doing on our separate entities and doing stuff like that.
Yeah, we've been trying to get Greg up here forever, so we'll have to try to get Greg up here too.
Man, Greg ain't coming to Indiana. He don't want no part of Indiana.
Hey, he's talking about
he'll come to Indiana and not leave.
We'll keep him here.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, the NCAA Final Four for the men's will be held here in Indianapolis in 2026 and 2029, which would give us 10, which would give us the most ever any city has held the Final Four. And what other better place to have the Final Four than basketball country? We do it like nobody else.
Mania again, though. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
It's been too long.
April 1992.
April 1990. I was a junior in high school.
I was 11 years old, tippy top, watching Hulk Hogan, my favorite. At the time.
Oh yeah.
No longer a favorite of Hulk Hogan.
I was not a Hulkamaniac.
Oh my
I was
a player.
I was 100% Team Flair, baby. 100%. Yeah.
He was there though. Flair was there. Flair and Macho Man for the title.
Yeah, I was not happy that he was over there, but NWA went away. And you had to conform. You had to conform to Vince. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to bend to Vince's will at some point in time. Blah blah blah. Oh, touch your ass, fucker.
Until now.
touch your ass.
Quick, he did sell his remaining shares of TKO are up for sale.
Oh yeah, Vince is getting ready. He's getting ready to try to. Hey, y'all probably won't ever see Vince in this country ever again.
He might be hanging out with the Tate, Andrew Tate,
Vince,
his brother.
Like Vince and Diddy is on their way to
an island.
Don't know where they're going. They're going somewhere out of country where they can't be brought back. They're going to Indonesia.
Maybe they just buy. I'm sure they could buy an island at this rate, so just go do it. But yeah, I saw that. So
if you just buy an island, They're going to come get you. You got to go somewhere where they can't come get you.
Space. By the moon.
Yeah.
Set up.
You got to change.
Set up shop. Yeah.
Like, I'd have been gone. Bye-bye. I'd have just disappeared under moonlight. You see me on TikTok. Like, where is he at? Don't know. But, hey, man, it's been fun hanging out with you on this Saturday afternoon. I wish you well in all of your endeavors that you have in this upcoming week. I am ready to go outside.
All right, go outside. Enjoy the day. Thank
You too, my friend.
All right.
Everybody, this been a great time. Great to be back. Great to have fun. Tune in anytime you can. Check us out. This is the BW Sports Network. You can get all of our shows, Kicking It with Steven and Super Kicking It with Steven and Greg, Dukes of Football when we come back this season, and all of our other shows. You can check us out on our YouTube network to see all of our rebroadcasts. I am out. Thanks for tuning in. Holla.